Bonjour les amis, bonjour et bienvenue à Marseille. You know, when you stay in this wonderful, crazy big city, the second largest in France, you often hear the stories about locals. We call them les Marseillais. Les Marseillais have a reputation for being happy people. They live in the sun more than 300 days a year. They love to tell stories and they have a tendency to exaggerate. In fact, when a Marseillais exaggerates, very often you'll hear somebody say, it's just like the story of the sardine that blocked the port of Marseille. A sardine, that tiny little fish, blocking the entrance of that giant port in Marseille? Where does that story come from, I wonder? As you walk around the city and you look at the souvenir shops, you will see a lot of postcards featuring sardines, like this one, for example. There is even a humorous one like the Sardinator, just like King Kong coming out of the Mediterranean to attack the city. Or you could find some fridge magnets like this one. Une petite sardine says, made in Marseille, 100% French. There is a story there, as you may have gathered. And that story dates back to the 18th century. The 18th century is the century of the French Revolution. And at that time, France and England are fighting. They're at war yet again. On the other side of the ocean, the American colonies are also fighting England, which is why France will help them at some point. There is a ship cruising the Atlantic Ocean waters, sailing, called the Sardine. That ship is not spelled sardine with a D, but Sardine with a T. Why? Because our king at that time, the famous and unfortunate Louis XVI, who will lose his head during the revolution, has a minister working for him, Monsieur de Sardine. The ship is named after him. And at some point, the Sardine is going to fight an English ship. And during that fight, the captain of the Sardine is killed. Eventually, the ship has to go back to Marseille. The guy piloting the ship, apparently, the sailor, is rather inexperienced. And when he arrives outside Marseille, he crashes the sardine on the big rocks outside the harbor, thereby blocking traffic in and out of the harbor for several days. And so this is where this joke, this expression comes from. Over time, the sardine has become the sardine. And this is why people say today, it's just like the story of the sardine that blocked the port of Marseille. Isn't it great? Love that story. À bientôt.